So one of the very first subclasses is the Abjurer. Tell me about this. This is the one that is a lot about defensive magic.
Yes, the Abjurer is at heart all about defending themselves and then ultimately also being able to defend others. And to aid them in their defensive capabilities, we've done a number of things both in the subclass itself, but also in the wizard's spell list. There are a number of spells that were previously not abjurations that now are.
Oh, interesting.
And we did this, because some of the spells we felt had been misclassified as other types of magic, and so we were correcting them, the spells themselves, making them abjurations. But this is also of practical importance to the Abjurer because it's casting abjuration spells that helps refresh their magical force field that absorbs damage.
Yeah.
And so that's another example of how the work that we've done in the spell chapter and in the wizard's spell list has a powerful effect on how this subclass functions as well as the other wizard subclasses.
Absolutely.
Each of the 4 wizard subclasses now has a brand new version of their savant feature. That feature used to give the wizard a discount on scribing spells of that school into their spell book.
Right.
We found over the last decade that in actual play, this was rarely actually being used. Often people would forget they had it.
Yeah.
And even if they remembered they had it, it was not actually doing them a whole lot of good. So we wanted to give people something more concrete that not only would they enjoy, but also really help ensure that they were connected to their favorite school of magic. So in the Abjurer, Abjuration Savant, right away gives you 2 more abjuration spells that you get to add to your spell book for free.
Okay.
And then every time you level up thereafter as a wizard, you get an additional abjuration spell for free. And so we've taken this shtick, and that shtick is now in all 4 of the wizard subclasses, ensuring that if you're an abjurer, evoker, illusionist, or diviner, you are guaranteed every time you level up to get at least 1 spell that is associated with your favorite school of magic.
Okay, perfect.
So that makes that feature in all 4 of the subclasses far more useful, and again, does some important work in making sure that you are actually connected to your favorite school. Now, in the Abjurer's Arcane Ward, which is really their signature class feature, this is the feature where they get to conjure up a protective field of magic, and it can essentially take their damage for them.
Yeah.
We made if a person's reading fast, they might miss it when they get to the feature, but we made a significant change to how the Arcane Ward works, and that is if your Abjurer has resistance, vulnerability, or immunity, those are now all applied before the Arcane Ward takes damage. And now, you'll be sad in the rare case of you having vulnerability and it being applied first. But most of the time, what this is going to mean is that if you have acquired resistance to a particular damage type, it now means your Arcane Ward can benefit from that resistance.
Absolutely.
And we then also applied that improvement to the projected ward feature that you get later, where you then have the ability to share your protection with friends. But in that case, rather than it being your resistance or vulnerability or immunity that's applied, it's theirs. So if, let's say, you're protecting your friend who has poison resistance and they take poison damage, their resistance to poison damage will kick in first, then the arcane ward will take the remaining damage. And then if there's still damage left over, then only then will it reach the person who's being protected.
The benefit of this is if you have an abjuration spell that can give you resistances like that, and you cast it, you are not only funneling energy into your shield, essentially, but you are also applying those resistances that spell would have to that damage at the same time. You're kind of gaming the system constantly. You're growing your shield and then making it more resistant at the same time, all in one.
Before you get to your level 14 feature, you actually get a brand new feature as an Abjurer called Spellbreaker. At level 10, Spellbreaker now makes it so that you always have the counterspell and dispel magic spells prepared, and you can cast dispel magic as a bonus action. And when you cast either of the spells with the spell slot, if the spell fails to either counter another spell or dispel a spell, your spell slot is not expended. This is the wizard who not only is, another spellcaster does not want to get into a spell duel with the Abjurer, but also dispel magic being a bonus action means if you're in one of those situations in the game where, sometimes there'll be a battle where there's a MacGuffin with some kind of magical protection, and most other characters would have to use their entire action to try to break that protection on it. The Abjurer can just walk up as a bonus action, try to shatter the spell, and still take their action to do something else.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah, so Spellbreaker is a really exciting new feature for this subclass. And then at level 14, the Abjurer still gets their spell resistance that they had before.
That's very fun. Again, you're like honing in on what makes the Abjurer, that wish fulfillment, that fantasy that you would have, concrete.
Absolutely.
The New Player's Handbook is available for pre-order right now on D&D Beyond. You can find that link in the video description. And you can also find the new Core Rulebooks bundle for pre-order, both physical and digital.
And if you pre-order the digital 2024 Player's Handbook on D&D Beyond, you get exclusive bonuses. 12 sets of digital dice representing each class, 10 new frames, and 5 new backdrops. And all of those bonuses are available right now on D&D Beyond.
Thank you so much for watching. We have a ton of video content coming out about the New Player's Handbook and all the new core rulebooks, the new monster manual, the new Dungeon Master's Guide. So be sure to check out all of that content. And thank you for watching.